Okay, this little guy here came out of my stool. In fact, it was when I did a major cleanse where I was doing enemas and just like the major cleanses I was doing with the different things that I was taking, the parasite cleansers and the haritaki and all the different things I was doing, and then I have a whole bunch of stuff on the Morgellons network that you can see some of the things that I've been doing. But anyway, so I had some with the douches and so forth that I was doing. I had a bunch of different things come out, and this was one that came out as a perfect specimen. A lot of them were broken apart and kind of beat up when they came out, but this came out whole, as a whole piece, to kind of show you what it looks like. And they seem to have like a crescent shape, and I've also noticed this one, they're very small starting out, just like almost like a string that has sort of a crescent shape. I've noticed that in the environment even. But anyhow, we're going to get closer up to this thing, and this was, let me get a focus in on here so we can actually see. You can see though that this is the nano. This whole thing is made up of little nano hairs or little nano wires, and this has got one of those little tubes that looks like little antenna. But the tubes, if you go out here, there's the end, and then this is like one of those little snakes. The tubes are. See, there's the end there. It's like a little snake. And these tubes are porous. They actually pull things in. So, and I'm not really sure if they feed through these or how this works, but I've seen that these tubes are porous, and I've seen things flowing through them. In fact, I've recorded it on one of my other videos that you can watch it, the liquid flowing through these tubes. Anyway, this is one of the Morgellons things that is inside. I think it's one of the, probably the beginning, before they start to make other kinds of things, other sorts of strange whatever creatures that come out of you. This is maybe the start of it, the start of the Morgellons. And you can see here, I can see it better without the camera than you can with the camera here, because you can see more details. See, it's kind of dark in some areas, you can't see as much. But anyway, this kind of shows you what it looks like. Trying to give you a good idea of how this thing is structured. Basically all of it. The whole thing is made up of, not of a mass, but of little tiny nano strings and wires that are all pulled together to make this creature, which was inside my body because it came out in my stool. And like I said, I was lucky enough to get a whole one, because normally they're just come in pieces, you can't see them. So, okay, so here's the deal. Probably like most of you, you start to feel like you have parasites or something. You start to type in all of your symptoms, and you start to say, hey, I have something going on, and you say, oh, it's parasites. No big deal. I'm going to do a parasite cleanse. I went to my doctor. My doctor said, probably a fluke. When you look at these things through an old microscope, it's not a very good one. They look like they're a mass, and they look like maybe it could be a fluke, And so that's what I originally thought. When I had some of these come out of me in the beginning, it seemed a little bit odd to me, but I thought, well, I don't know what they are, so my doctor thinks a fluke, so okay, we're going to go ahead and take this medication. I took several rounds of medications. Nothing seemed to help. I'd come right back. And so then you start to find out, figure out what else could this be? What's going on? Why can't I get rid of it? And then you stumble upon Morgellons, and you say, oh no, there's no way, I do not have this. This is way too weird, and I don't even think this is real. And so you kind of put it in the back of your mind, and you go on trying to get rid of this stuff, and then other things start to happen, like you start to get sores, that won't heal. You start to begin to have itching and discomfort, and you just don't know what's going on, and it's just it's kind of scary. And then when you actually admit, oh, maybe I do have this, or maybe I need to look into this further, it's terrifying. You just begin to become terrified, thinking that you have this thing, and this is just a horrible, horrible reality to have to live with. So, but take comfort that you're not the only one. It's just really sad that our medical establishment, government, is not acknowledging this as something real. I mean, I see the real things in front of me. I have evidence of what's real. I could not have possibly created this thing. I am devoutly trying to figure out what's going on inside my body. I don't have a doctor who has that concern to find out, because then apparently this is not a real thing. But I assure you it is a real thing. And this that you're looking at right now is something that came out of me, and I have very many of these. I have quite large ones that you can see, and it's really bizarre. So we need to find out what happened, what's going on. I mean, we had anthrax, we had all these things that the government admitted that something was going on, and all of a sudden we have this pandemic, and no one's agreeing that there's anything going on. And I don't understand it, and I don't understand why we're just allowing this to continue on when it seems to be growing in our population, and it's causing a lot of health problems. I mean, for me, it's constant fatigue, and I'm fighting a battle with it all the time. So I just really would like someone to observe and really look at the specimens that people are getting, and I think this thing kind of takes on its own form sometimes, depending on the person. I don't know how it was designed or developed. I don't know if it's biological or chemical warfare of some kind. I don't know what's going on here, but all I know is we need to find something. We need to find some answers. We need to move forward on this instead of just sitting there and acting like it doesn't exist, because I can assure you 100% this exists. To my horror and to my detriment, this is real. So we need to do something about it. We need to help each other. We need to find some answers and see what we can do to accomplish good. Doctors take an oath to do no harm. And in not treating people and in allowing this to propagate and go through communities and people and families, they're doing harm. And so is the CDC. The government is doing harm by ignoring this and not trying to help people. And sadly, they're going to affect their own families eventually if something isn't done, because this is growing quickly. And I do believe it's contagious, because I have seen it in my environment. I believe it's in the air. And I believe it's something biological. In fact, I know it is. And we don't know exactly what it's going to do, or how it's going to transform, or how it's going to continue to grow. So please, write to your congressman, write to the president, write to anyone who might listen to you, and make your letters educated. Conspiracy theories are going to get thrown out the window. So we need to go with facts, whatever facts you have, whatever real specimens you have, whatever you have that's a fact. That's what we need to try and stick with as much as possible. And the theories are interesting, and we can, go back and forth on those. But when you're writing to your congressmen and so forth and your officials, try to stick with facts and beg them to do something. Thanks. Bye.